Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are doing well and you are done with the speech that is Glory and Hope by Nelson Mandela, and I hope that you all are clear with the lesson. Today in lecture 15 we are going to discuss the study questions of the reading section 2.2 Glory and Hope, that was a speech by Nelson Mandela. As you all know that your reading section contains three different parts, that is recalling, interpretation and extending. So I will discuss one by one each portion, but the first one we are going to discuss is recalling. As previously discussed, in recalling what we used to do, we used to refer back to the lesson that we have studied so far. So we used to talk about who is the writer, what is the intention of the writer, and what is the occasion of that particular speech, poem or any other thing. So we are mostly focused on the minute details that are discussed in the text itself, and we are going to rediscuss them in the recalling portion. So let's discuss the questions. So question number 1. Who are the people Nelson Mandela is addressing and what is the occasion? So Nelson Mandela is addressing to the people of both South Africa and international community. There were heads of different states and other dignities, and including distinguished guests, comrades and friends at the auspicious event. It was the brightest day in the life of the black people of South Africa, who got independence from the white people after a great and extensive struggle. This was the oath-taking ceremony of Nelson Mandela when he was elected democratically as the first president of South Africa on May 10, 1994. Facilities in order to live like a peaceful life. So basically it was on the occasion of oath-taking ceremony, and who are the people means the people of South Africa and international community. Okay, question number 2. What figurative language does Nelson Mandela use to communicate his profound feeling of patriotism and sense of belonging to his homeland? So Nelson Mandela is a name that can never be forgotten when it comes to the moment solely fought for the right of black people. So he was a much celebrated leader of South Africa. He uses the beautiful and moving language to express his feelings of patriotism and a sense of belonging to his homeland. His best approach is the use of similes. So figurative language means he is going to use similes, where we use two things regarding their qualities. We compare two things on the basis of the qualities that we are going to give to the other thing, and the quality is present in the the previous one. It's going to have a quality and we are going to compare it to the later one. So here Nelson Mandela uses simile to put forward his objective and reflect his love for his homeland. As an example, I would like to discuss: each time one of us touches the soil of this land, we feel as a sense of personal renewal. And in other place, he used to say, each one of us is intimately attached to the soil of this beautiful land, as our famous jacaranda trees of Pretoria and mimosa trees of Bushveld. So here he is trying to compare the strength, the attachment of the thing like the trees with the soil, and he is comparing his love just like that attachment with the soil. So this is how Nelson Mandela is going to use the use of figure of speeches. Okay. Third question. What was the situation like in South Africa before this very celebration of liberty and glory that Nelson Mandela is speaking about? So the situation in South Africa was quite difficult, deplorable before the very celebration of liberty and glory that Nelson Mandela is speaking about. One can easily identify absolute discrimination between the communities on the basis of caste and color. So black people, they were not enjoying freedom just like the white people, or we can see that the white were discriminating the black people on the basis of their color, and no peace and harmony could be seen in the country. Many laws and measures were designated to oppress the right of black people. So basically the white were enjoying their independence and the black, they were facing different problems. Okay, then what emancipation and liberation is Nelson Mandela speaking about? So Nelson Mandela focused on two major issues in his speech, that is emancipation and liberation. Emancipation, Nelson Mandela is speaking about political emancipation which they have achieved after a long struggle against the apartheid system. Apartheid system we have already discussed, that is how the people were institutionalizing the things on the basis of color. So he was elected democratically the first black president of South Africa in 1994. In the former political system in South Africa, only white people had full political rights. Black were forced to live away from white people. Now all the people will enjoy full equal rights in South Africa. All the communities will live together with equal opportunities. He is speaking about emancipation from racism and racial oppression. He, along with countrymen, is celebrating the victory of justice, peace, and human dignity. So, emancipation, he is talking about justice, peace, and human dignity. Now, talking about liberation, Nelson Mandela also gives the guarantee that from now onwards, all the people will enjoy complete liberty, who were continuously suffering the intense bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. He is speaking about the liberation movement of black people of South Africa when he became successful in dismantling the country's apartheid system. So liberation means that he is talking about giving equal rights to all the people despite their color, race, and ethnic group. Okay, question 5. What does Nelson Mandela mean by South Africa being once the skunk of the world? Okay, skunk of the world, sorry. So at the end of his speech, Nelson Mandela uses the phrase skunk of the world, which means that once the people of South Africa were hated by the people, this phrase further throws light on the significant feature that South Africa was once most you can say disgusting nation of the world. The people of South Africa were given no respect or love by the rest of the world because of the ideology and practice of racism. All over the world, people looked at them as with scornful eyes and hatred expression on their faces. Due to the apartheid system, South Africa not only went through poverty, deprivation, racial and gender discrimination, but it was rejected and disrespected. Thus, you can say, it was isolated from rest of the world. Okay. The second part, interpreting. So, interpreting, as I have told you previously, on the basis of given statement or situation, we are going to make meaning out of it. So here the question number 6 is, considering that South Africa was once the skunking of the world, why does Nelson Mandela gives this speech the title Glory and Hope? Glory of what and hope for what? Okay. So Nelson Mandela considered South Africa as once the skunking of the world, but still his speech rests on the solid foundation of glory and hope due to the following reasons. Now, why he was going to say it glory? In his perspective, there is glory for peace, non-violent freedom for racial subjugation. There is glory for the justice of human dignity, non-sexism, non-racialism and democracy. He talks about the glorious achievement. So he is talking about the future, plus he is talking about the present, that how a black has become the president of South Africa. So this is, he is going to compare it with glory. Now hope means, coming towards hope, he talks about the hope for prosperity, equality and lasting justice. He hopes firmly that freedom will regain on the, like you can say, on South Africa land in the years to come. All the communities will live together in harmony and enjoy equal rights and opportunities. There will be no racial oppression and discrimination. This is hope for, like you can say, for the building of a society where all human beings have equal social status, and both black and white people will be able to, you can say, walk together without any fear in their hearts or without any hatred in their hearts. Okay, question number 7. What does Nelson Mandela mean by a rainbow nation at peace with itself and the world? So here, being an excellent communicator and having a full grasp over the usage of figurative language, Nelson Mandela uses an awesome expression by saying a rainbow nation at peace with itself and the world. In this way, he is comparing his nation with a rainbow. Rainbow nation refers to multicultural or multiracial country, used especially for South Africa in the past apartheid era. Nelson Mandela means that now all the communities, especially white and black people, will live in complete harmony and peace on the land of South Africa. They will, you can say, develop cordial and peaceful relation with the world. As the rainbow consists of various colors, so the South Africa nation consists of communities like black and white people sharing the same land with equal rights and benefits, and in this way they will set an example for the world of brotherhood and togetherness. Okay. Now question number 8. What does Mandela mean by humanity has taken us back into its bosom, who were outlaws not so long ago? So Nelson Mandela wants to appreciate the gracious act of mankind. That is why he sees the mentioned expression, which means that humanity has shown affection for black people and brought them under legal protection. He means to say that we have now considered as dignified human beings by the people of the world. We were suffering from anarchy a few years ago, but now we have achieved a politically accepted status. He says we were isolated from the rest of the world because of different, you can say, discriminated ideologies and the practice of racism, but now the people of South Africa were given respect and love by the rest of the world. He says that this respect and affection must bond us back to, like you can say, humanity for the people of South Africa very soon. So he is predicting that now we will be at peace. Okay. I have given this part extending as discussion because I want you people, when you come back, I want to have a debate with you people, because it is somehow a very broad part extending. We have to relate different things. So for what we have read, like Martin Luther King Jr., and again we have discussed Quaid-e-Azam's speech, and we have discussed the last sermon. So it's a kind of mixture of all those three speeches. So when you people will come back, we will be having a debate from this part. But before that, I would like you people to go back to the inaugural speech of Nelson Mandela and I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King, and compare and contrast what are the things that they are going to use in their speech. Like for example, use the phrases that Martin Luther King has used in his speech, and again use the like phrases that Nelson Mandela has used in his speech, and again you are going to focus on what does Nelson Mandela is trying to see and convey to the people, and how Martin Luther is trying to convince the people. So these two, 9 and 10, you are going to read the speech again and you are going to highlight the main points again. It's a kind of assignment you people will write down, but later on we will be having a discussion over it. Okay, then in question number 11, you will go back to the farewell sermon and you will try to relate it to both the speeches, both to Martin Luther King's speech and again to Nelson Mandela's speech, and how can we relate these three with the current situation. So you are trying to now relate those three speeches together, and again you will look at what are the points that Prophet, peace be upon him, has highlighted and that these two leaders have highlighted. That's all for today. We are done with your reading section 2.2. The next lecture will be of reading section 2.3. If you have any question, feel free to comment on this video. Thank you so much.